Ladies and gentlemen,
All right.
Rutgers take game one rather easily. University of Delaware trying to find their way to get back into the game. Best Canon NA, who was playing Kazakh's last game, what were his thoughts on the pick and ban phase? And he said initially that they were afraid of the Kog'Maw Lulu combo being very powerful in the bot lane, but knew that that combo only works if the bot lane gets ahead, which in this case they did not. Rutgers was able to pick the Xayah and Rakan combo, which proved to be much more deadly in carrying the game. A lot of flash ultimates made by Rakan, catching multiple members of University of Delaware's team, and that turned the entire team fight in their favor.
I mean, just a whole lot of time didn't do anything except look at your keyboard. Because, you're knocked up in the air right after the charm. After you're playing follow the leader.
You still have the C by Maokai that was still going on, and that's another factor that they were unable to deal with. I'm trying to build a quick silver sash for all that CC. Starting to see the teams get riled up. Piling up in the chat, who do you think is going to win round two? Is it going to be another Rutgers victory, or is University of Delaware going to get their footing in game two? In the comments section. Meanwhile, Mr. Flag, what do you think, if any, differences are going to be in the pick and ban phase?
I mean, we might see Rakan banned out. Just because that was a lot of a nuisance. Not sure if they'd have another support picked away that would just have as much of a, I don't know, an advantage or disadvantage.
Because the Rutgers' support of Rakan, but is also known for other engage type champions such as Tarek, Thresh. Seeing a lot of people trying to support Delaware getting back into the game, but maybe Rutgers just 2-0 them. It's a lot to see. Beyond only an hour and 15 minutes in. If game number 2 goes in Rutgers' favor, that's that. All the players are getting back here after their short little breaks, as I'm sure you at home are also getting back with your snacks and your bathroom breaks and what have you. Do you think we're going to see a Kog'Maw ban just to be safe, or do you think they're going to let East Coast Carry pick up the Kog'Maw again?
I mean, I think that they're going to be fine. Like, as it stands, I feel like East Coast Carry has to show that they have to ban him out. I don't know. He just didn't seem too effective. They were too tanky, too fast last game.
University of Delaware just wasn't able to scale as quickly as they wanted to. And because of that, they found themselves under the curve. And being under the curve when you're already behind in the game is just a spell for disaster. The reason why you pick picks like Kog'Maw extent is to get them with early game advantages so that their gold lead and item lead is above the curve in terms of damage output. You saw in that last game that the amount of damage that Xayah was able to bust out was just absolutely phenomenal. Just one auto attack from that Xayah would take like 20% off the R, and when that's your only source of frontline, that's very deadly and difficult to go against.
Well, it doesn't help that the first item you rush on Kog'Maw either is Ginsu's, because that's just really expensive. So it just, I don't know, one item for that much instead of having a couple of things kind of shows. But all you've got is a Ginsu and a Zeal. About you're trying to shoot at a 2-item Maokai.
20 minutes in, and he had just completed his Gensus. Both teams are about to be ready to go.
Did have draft underway, so obviously
Draft underway. University of Delaware's team captain. We're gonna see what the first ban is. I wouldn't be surprised if I actually saw a Rakan ban coming up first. Be interesting, but not surprising to by any means necessary. Seconds remaining.
Fine, I'll just be over here.
Zaya, instead of the
Sharpening my
Rakan,
feathers.
fearing the damage output that Zaya was able to, or Andes rather, was able to put out last game, they're just gonna ban Zaya right away.
Grounded.
Another Talia ban, once again going against Harrison000, who's known to play a very mean Talia. They're going to respect the mid laner. He played Swain last game. He did relatively well. Another one trick gone. They're going to ban Jax for just before dawn, making sure that he doesn't pop off too much with the very specific targeted bans against these players.
Let's make friends.
Mandatory Nunu ban, as expected. Gonna be banned here. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw maybe a Kha'Zix ban, because he did have a lot of pressure early on in the game, and for the amount of damage that he was outputting last game. Instead, they're gonna go for a very safe ban. They're gonna ban Orianna here, and Rutgers University is going to have their final ban. A lot of really awkward picks last game for University of Delaware in terms of their champion picks. We're going to see that Azir ban case, making sure that that mid laner doesn't pop off too hard. He is a master tier player, so he does know what he's doing. Be the first couple picks for both of these teams. Excuse me, Flags. What do you expect to be the first couple picks for these teams?
Let's see. Well, looks like first of all we're gonna get a Lulu. I'd imagine that we're gonna see maybe our bot lane picked out over here on the right side. Now that we have the support, I imagine the ADC will come down on the other side as well. Just get the bot lanes out of the way.
5 seconds remaining on their pick. Gonna see a Kha'Zix once again locked in for that early game pressure. Delaware's gonna double down on their bot lane, sticking with that Lulu. Meanwhile, Rutgers, they're hovering that Tristana, another very powerful scaling AD carry. Tristana is gonna be huge because Andes actually plays Tristana quite a bit, so that's gonna be a very difficult bot lane to deal against. Might not have been the best idea for University of Delaware trying to find the stable footing here. Carry, if revealed, is going to be... It's a Sivir. Pick. Not one that you really see all too often, but definitely one that can be effective, especially if Lulu rushes like Ardent Sensor early on, and if they get an early enough lead. The item ticking time bomb. Is not going to be any easy feat, no matter what support she's paired against. The Vladimir, stopping Virtue from popping off with Vladimir 2 games in a row. We're going to see what Virtue picks to try and counter this, as his Vladimir is just taken away. And Soul, that would be an interesting pick indeed. Is he going to finalize it, though, is the real question.
Is he gonna lock in the dragon? Oh, nope. He's
We're
gonna change over to Zera.
A very strong mid laner. Now, what do you think is going to be on the second pick and ban phase here, Mr. Flags?
Who dares defy my will?
Yeah, I was gonna say they're probably gonna try and ban out a couple more junglers, kind of slim the pool. And then from the other side, we don't have a top laner as support, so we might see something go that way.
All right. Let's see if you're right.
Kind of hit me with all these decisions.
Your judgment is clouded.
It's gonna be a Taric ban, knowing that Amalfa's plays a lot of Taric and Rakan, so they're stopping the support from trying to pop off as well. like I said earlier, Tristana doesn't need any one particular support. She synergizes relatively well supports in the game. For Rutgers University, we're going to see Skarner being picked off. Because the Skarner, although trying to get some nice ultimate pickoffs, did not find a lot of success in that. University of Delaware, on the other hand, is going to be revealed in 10 seconds. And now.
Oh.
Think carefully, my friend.
And another support. So there you go.
Support.
So 2 junglers and 2 supports manned out.
Trying to just target Amalphas, making sure that they already saw that scary Tristana. They're trying to make sure that they don't have the support.
See, sometimes I can get predictions right.
They don't know is...
Ooh.
As that Tom Kench, let's get some unbench the Kench, unload the Toad in the chat. That's going to be a fun bot lane to watch.
Oh no.
Excited. Tom Kench and Tristana versus Sivir and Lulu. They're going to pick Jace, laner that hasn't been revealed for Rutgers University just yet.
Okay, and Sejuani.
Funny, another jungler that can get a lot of pickoffs easily. But if the team falls behind, like it happened last game when University of Delaware, that Sejuani's not going to have as much of an impact. Engaged junglers only do as well as their laners do, in a sense. Compared to that early game Kha'Zix, that's going to be very difficult. And for the Toad, as I am.
Oh, Mordekaiser. Oh.
Oh, another
really
safe
excited.
Pick. But Mordekaiser would have been interesting as well to see. What do you think about this pick and ban phase in comparison to last game?
Let's see. You know, I almost feel like the support will be still an important matchup, but it'll be different. Look, it'll be way different now. He won't be able to go just so as crazy on Tom Kinch to turn team fights. We'll have to see if he can do a really good job to save people with Devour.
That's true. A very defensive pickup for Rutgers' support. Engage as last time. They only have the Maokai ultimate as hard engage.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, more defensive setup with tanks like Sejuani and Vladimir top. Between Sivir along with the giant growth coming out from Lulu. Might just be the defense that they need in the bot lane. We're just tuning in. The first game of this series went to Rutgers University. Alphas over here picked Rakan and got a lot of flash engages with Flash and the Quickening, catching multiple members of their team, and they just didn't have enough tankiness kind of compete with that. Eventually, both Virtue on Vladimir and Andiz on Xayah just completely took over the entire game. See if they can stop that from happening a second time in a row, as you saw with those target bans against those supports that alphas would normally like to play. Meanwhile, you're seeing Delaware go again for another defensive setup. I think they originally picked the Vladimir to go mid, but after seeing the amount of poke that Xerath can produce, they might have just picked Jace, to try and shut down that Xerath early. Be pretty pivotal because roam and kill potential of Xerath, especially with that ultimate coming through. What are your thoughts, Flag?
My thoughts on this so far? Well, it depends on what happens. Are you sure that Jace is going to go mid, or is he going to go top?
I suppose you're right. He could very well go top.
Because it's one way or the other. I would agree more that Jace has a better time against Xerath than he does against Maokai, in sort of the same way around for Vlad, where he deals better with Maokai than Xerath.
Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure it's a Jace mid though, because Harrison 000 plays a lot of mid. He's very familiar with the mid role.
Mhm.
You could be right. Please is also their flex player on their team, so it could go either way. Be a Jace mid. What we're seeing here. In the meantime, 30 seconds left on the clock. Going to play around bot lane like he wanted to do in the previous game, or do you think there's going to be a lot of action mid, just how the last game went?
It's hard to tell before the match starts. But I feel like as hype and as crazy as the mid laners are playing last time, I feel like there's going to be a lot of tension there still. You do have to watch both lanes top and mid though, since they're running Ignite.
I have to agree with you. We're going to see what the rune of choices are going to be for both teams here. See if we can see anything interesting, or is it going to be League of Stopwatch again?
Stopwatches were pretty good.
Pivotal a couple of times. What we've got here. Summoner's Spellbook on Vladimir. Jace, on the other hand, opting to take Electrocute versus Xerath with the Arcane Comet. Fairly standard starts here. Oh, but what's this? To go for Fleet Footwork with a tanky. Do you think they're going to try and do the double Targon's overheal, despite it being nerfed recently?
I don't see why they couldn't give it a try. But I don't know. Also, the spellbook's on Vladimir, so expect a teleporter too.
Yeah, it's going to be important to keep in mind. He's taking that Ignite for the early game versus Maokai.
Mm-hmm.
Unkillable.
Maybe try and get a kill early on him. Oh,
That'll be
got
enough.
another pause because of the bug splat.
An opportunity. Refresh myself on some water. Be right back.
Alright. While he's gone, I suppose I'll fill the air. Looking around, like I said, checking out the summoners again. Make sure that that's right. There we go. Reposition the dog in my lap. And then just wait for that guy to reload the client. We'll get this game underway.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Alright. Just got people positioned around in the river. Just to make sure that no invades happen on either side.
Interruption. Need to make sure.
That also being said, make sure that you're synced up and fast forwarded all the way with me, Rising. So that we don't have that silly little delay.
Seems like everything's going by smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
Hearts from both sides of the team. No wards, unlike the previous game coming out.
Seems like everybody's got a gentleman's agreement for the first clear of buffs.
Agree with you there. Another standard clear is what I'm going to expect here. With both junglers going buff to wolves to buff. Does have a significantly slower clear speed than Kha'Zix does. We give Kha'Zix an early game advantage, and we're going to see if he can abuse that like he did in the previous game mid lane. He can. Both sides here.
Have
we're
a
not
really
going to see the double
deep ward from Jace up at red. So they're definitely going to try and collapse on him early.
See if you're right. Nothing strange coming out from the first
yeah.
item picks here, aside from Vladimir opting to take the Dark Seal as his first purchase.
Okay, so they just let him clear it. It seems like, yeah. He'll get his red buff. We don't need the fog.
Do they notice the Kazakhs in that jungle is the real question.
I mean, they had vision of him from their wards, so I can only imagine so.
A lot of vision control going on for University of Delaware down by the river. The topside river. Kazakhs looking mid, however. Sejuani trying to collapse on that. Those wards earlier. As is Sejuani going to be, and we might have a team fight coming on mid lane real soon.
Just a really quick skirmish, it looks like. Nope, Kazakh jumps out.
Lulu's going to take a lot of damage. Oh, here comes Jace trying to go in. He's trying to get a lot of damage. There goes the electrocute proc coming in from Jace. He's going to be knocked airborne. Kazakh's trying to come in. There goes the flash ignite. Kazakhs is going to flash in response, and that's going to be no kills coming out from both teams.
Oh,
but
goodness.
the flash of Sejuani!
That was really impressive.
For their team. Kazakhs trying to make this a 2v1, and he's going to get slaughtered. He gets the Sejuani, but is unable to get the Jason response.
Alright, so now Jace with double off mid lane.
Sejuani getting that very flashy play, securing first blood of Delaware here.
Was a really
gonna be
slick
pretty important.
flash and W.
Which, that kind of bursted him down there for a second. It looked like he had about 20% of his HP, and it was just bam, flash and gone. Just the early game advantage that this team needs to get and try and get the W this time around. To return.
Malphite jumping in. Oh, Kazakhs is there.
Here comes Kazakhs. Vladimir's forced to flash, a little hello, and nothing else outside of that. Stay here and sustain off his Q, or since he has Summoner Spellbook, he could even go back and just TP back into lane. The choice is his. That Summoner Spellbook giving so much tempo to Vladimir.
Just a lot of versatility for whoever takes it.
Dangerous in a versatility indeed, especially with the power of Spellbook. Or excuse me, power of the stopwatch still being in play here. Going very even down in the bot lane in terms of CS.
Dodges the root. Decides that he doesn't want to get jumped in on. Kazakhs might try and gank him again.
On Sejuani, she's looking mid. Trying to see if anything.
Here
Oh,
he
there
comes.
goes the flash
There's
by
a flash.
Maokai. Kazakhs is here to try and get the kill. Vladimir's trying to run away as much as he can. But it's just not enough.
No.
He used his flash earlier, and that's going to be a very quick kill going over to Kazakhs. Best Ken in NA. About that, even though the Summoner Spellbook gives you 25% cooldown reduction on your Summoner spells, it doesn't matter if you just used your flash 10 seconds prior.
It doesn't actually make your summoner spells cool down 25 seconds. That would have been really what he was after there.
If it was. Meanwhile, Xerath trying to get as much poke as he can in the mid lane. Ace has been able to more or less secure the lane, mostly due to the pressure from Sejuani. Okay, bot here. Xerath gets chunked to under 50% HP.
You have Kazakhs heading back up mid, and he's going to stumble into Chase. Or, well,
Drops the ward and nothing else aside from that. A little brawl in the top lane. Vladimir is going to take a little bit of damage, but nothing else aside from that. Both of these champions have a lot of built-in sustain, so they can stay in the lane as long as they... more or less. Level 6 already coming in for Jace and the Maokai and the Xerath. Might be coming in clutch. Jungler Sejuani also getting her ultimate Glacial Prison online. A little bit of a flashy start, but it seems the game has slowed down a little bit here as both junglers are trying to reset for their... Jace is here trying to contest the blue buff down in the jungle. This is actually going to force Kha'Zix to back off a little bit there, if you notice on your mini-map. Just a little back and forth, kind of like a dance, you know?
Just a little ward tango. Sapling tries to jump on Vladimir.
Sivir come back with additional items just yet. Already has her BF sword completed. Just gonna go back to buy and hopefully try and contest that.
Looks like she's gonna go for Essence Reader first.
Pick for the Sivir as the first item at the very least. Getting pushed in here. Ani and Kha'Zix both in a position to gank or counter gank. However, look at that interesting jungle pathing, avoiding that ward that Xerath has there.
Well,
Converts to a kill is yet to be seen. Maokai gonna try and get in there. He's forced to back off as the Vladimir just heals so much off of that Q.
well, he's got his Kha'Zix snuck up top now. We'll see if that turns into anything.
A little too far forward.
They might
That's gonna
actually
be a
know.
stun coming in for Jace.
I think they have the
Back
information. Ping's coming out. Yep.
Hold the jump. Oh, Kha'Zix is still gonna try and flash for it. In the meantime, he takes a lot of damage in response, but no kills. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, there's gonna be a lot of damage. The Xerath is gonna find himself down. Tom Kench with the Abyssal Voyage, but the ADC does not jump in. Not enough follow-up to contest that. That's gonna be a kill going on for University of Delaware.
I think that he was just teleporting out to maybe try and eat Xerath.
Solo kill on Sejuani.
This won't be good for them.
It's the Kench. Surrounded, but Sejuani's
Oh
low.
no.
Tom Kench is out of position now. Instead, he's going to take a lot of damage, and he gets stunned before he can even use his fat to get that massive shield. So that's not even going to be a kill. Not only that, but that's going to be an early Infernal Drake going on for University of Delaware.
It's not going to be good for them at all.
Unlike last game, University of Delaware is starting off with a very commanding lead early on in the game, and there's already a 3k gold advantage for them. A polar opposite to what we saw in the previous game. Seems that it's a couple positioning errors, and not only that, but University of Delaware has really been able to capitalize on that.
Just Delaware making some really good plays, really flashes for that first blood.
And it's looking like, just as you said, the Tom Kench pick as opposed to Rakan hasn't really paid off just yet. He got that Abyssal Voyage, but the ADC wasn't there, so he couldn't contest. Meanwhile, Kha'Zix trying to make something happen down on the top side. He's forced to flash out. There goes the Void Assault being popped in. Both champions down to 25% HP. Kha'Zix is going to hop over the wall and just be like, maybe I don't want that just yet.
Use that blast. Oh, but he gets sniped!
Snipe by the Jace Henson mid.
Oh, man.
Once again, a positioning error made by Rutgers University. They just overextended there a little bit. They picked off for no reason.
Kha'Zix just taking tower shots for no reason, going for a kill. He doesn't have any reason to.
We're just trying to make the skirmishes happen, and it just hasn't been the same follow-up that they saw in the previous game. Much impact as he wanted to, unlike the first game. Of their laners here. In terms of their laners, Tristana, only ones on their team that have a CS advantage. That CS advantage doesn't mean anything if your team's getting picked off left and right.
Well,
seeing Jace coming into Kha'Zix's jungle. Look at that damage! 40% off of that EQ combo. Oh, and there goes the Glacial Blizzard by Sejuani. And then another Abyssal Voyage by the Tom Kench trying to get the follow-up. Jace is going to find himself in an awkward position. He's trying to knock him away. There goes the flash. Tom Kench is going to eat him up and spit him out. He's forced to use the stopwatch defensively, but it's not enough as he's going to get the shutdown. Something that they needed at this exact moment in time. This is going to be huge. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, they're trying to take the first turret of the game.
Pretty
Not
close.
just yet, but with
Next wave.
By the next wave, with the pushing power that Sivir has, much of a chance.
Passive attack speed from W.
Almost a really good team fight that could have gone in favor of University of Delaware. Minor, a quick reaction, both by the Abyssal Voyage and the Teleport, and they ended up getting the kill on Henson instead of the other way around. And you've noticed so far has been able to roam
Kha'Zix.
significantly. Kha'Zix looking. Henson is going to return to the mid lane.
All he's doing is looking, though.
Has been able to roam a lot. You saw him get that kill early on the Kha'Zix towards the top lane. You saw him even visit bot once just to shadow and make sure everything is going okay. Henson has a very commanding lead. It looks like that Jason to Xerath has proven to be very impactful so far. Mr. Fly.
It's just a lot of damage that Xerath's not ready to account for. He doesn't have his old passive anymore that gives him armor. He has that mana one now, right? Oh. But there's some damage going down.
Doing a lot of damage to Jace, however.
Yeah, he had some help from Kha'Zix, though. Can't always be there to assist him.
It's true, and as soon as he's not, I'm pretty sure Henson's going to capitalize on that. He's going to pop that ultimate, and it's not going to find much of anything. And you're just sustained all the way back from almost near death to damn near full HP.
Oh.
Little sprawl.
Down bot side. Tristana took a bit more poke than she wanted.
How early on in the game that Sivir's been dealing a lot of damage. The back and forth in the mid lane, both of them going to find themselves very low on HP. In a position to try and help them out here. Is it going to be enough, or is Kha'Zix going to overstep? Meanwhile, blue team, or excuse me, University of Delaware, going to get the first blood turret, and that's a 3k gold lead going over for them.
Just slowly trying to stack their way up to, was it 14k by the end of the last one?
Just might find himself out of position here. He's forced to flash.
Missed the bola.
Miss. She's flashing and she's going to get the kill anyways. But here comes Tristana to get the follow-up. The Nature's Growth coming onto the Sejuani as Rutgers University is trying to collapse on this. There goes the Abyssal Voyage once again, trying to catch Sejuani with the poke. Lulu's going to be forced to flash there. She's trying to back up. The remaining members of both teams are trying to collapse on this, but nothing else is going to be a follow-up. And that's Best Ken and NA. Out of position and getting caught out by the enemy team. A complete difference than what we saw in the previous game, where it was just everyone on the map. This time it looks like University of Delaware is up to its tricks, and that's mid lane turret going down. Is going to be huge because what that means is that Herson can roam a lot more. He can go topside a lot more and try and crack that first tier top turret.
See if he can knock that tree down that's sitting up there too. Get rid of Malachi.
In University of Delaware, shifting their pressure up topside. They're looking. Kai could easily get dove here. That's going to be Sivir going straight into tower range, but nothing else is beside that. Kha'Zix, in the meantime, trying to get as much damage as he can onto Jace. Jace is going to hop in anyways. He's going to find himself getting stunned. There goes the Nature's Grasp, killing two members on University of Delaware's team. Kha'Zix trying to get the follow-up. Sivir's forced to make a retreat. That's going to be the flash engage. And that's going to be Endez getting the kill onto East Coast carry.
Not only that, also exactly what Rutgers needed to maybe get back into it.
Going to try and get the Rift Herald to try and decrease the amount of gold difference between both teams.
Well, Rift Herald and top lane, it looks like.
It's like a little bit of miscommunication happened on University of Delaware's part, as their team was a little bit split up there. You saw that the Jace decided to hop in anyways, despite the entire team being there, and that caused him to get CC'd and poked out. In turn, allowed the opportunity for Malachi to use the Nature's Grasp to get the follow-up kills, forcing Sivir to retreat. A well-played team fight. Rutgers University here. A minor misplay that could cost them later down the line for University of Delaware. How beautiful is that?
That with the creep, that wave.
I love seeing that. I love seeing just the
Just-
whole wave just boop.
Just disappear, 110 gold pop over his head. Profit.
Well, it's looking that University of Delaware is looking to secure the second Drake of the game.
What kind of
Increase
Drake is
their
it?
lead. It's a Cloud Drake this time around, but the one after is looking like it's going to be another Infernal. That next Drake's going to be very important to capture for both universities, whether denying University of Delaware from getting a second Infernal themselves, honestly. Dude, especially with the amount of vision control that University of Delaware has throughout both top and bot side river.
Mm-hmm.
The move towards attacking and destroying this top tier turret 18 minutes into the game. The very first turret for their team, if possible.
We'll see if Jace gets out there quick enough to stop him or
Their
not.
time. Is there to contest. Just a tower destroying monster, and that's going to be the first tower going over to the red side 18 minutes in the game. And being caught by Tom Kent just to make that appearance mid lane.
Now it's time to
And
siege mid.
the teleport also going down with the Rift Herald, and that's going to be an easy mid turret going down, but a team fight might ensue shortly after. A lot of pressure still mid side as they're trying to get rid of that Rift Herald. Gonna back up. That's gonna allow to kind of stabilize here.
Chunk of damage from WQ from Jace.
3k gold difference, however, they are stabilizing in this game, getting both the turret top and now the turret mid with the Rift Herald. Of the Rift Herald, if I say so myself. University of Delaware, however, trying to seize the temple on their side, is going to try and siege top once again. To get a proper team fight going for their team here. Let's see if it works the second time around. We're getting onto that turret. A little bit more, and that's going to be the turret destroyed. That's going to be the surprise. Glacial Prison landing onto Tom Kent. Oh, but the Lulu's forced to use Nature's Grasp through the Kha'Zix Void Assault. Best Ken and Nene is going to find himself going down. Vladimir is going to flash forward and get the pull. The flash engaged by Sejuani once again, trying to catch Tristana off guard. The stopwatch going to be used by her, but it's not enough. And this goes down. And that's going to be
We're going straight to Baron.
3-for-0. And that's going to be the team fight going in favor of them. And now with this Baron, they're going to find themselves back in the lead just after Rutgers University had just barely stabilized. Fight is going to go, you know, just not their way. A pick off onto Lulu early on. She was able to use the Nature's Grasp and survive. Meanwhile, that allowed the remaining team, the remaining University of Delaware team, to continue the assault on the remaining team members. Baskin and Nene was technically once again out of position. And is to use the stopwatch, but that put him in even a worse scenario as he's found himself getting killed off anyway.
Yeah, just now without a stopwatch for the
Like
next
last
time.
time. Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying without the stopwatch for the next time that he'll need it.
The important cooldown, especially since it's a one-time use.
Yeah. So now it'll only be good as a Guardian Angel, really.
Baron, University of Delaware is trying to take tier 2 bot tower as they're grouped up here. Rutgers is trying to see if they can stop the siege from happening. Of all 5 members, look at that amount of damage onto Tristana with just one EQ combo. HP just taken out the game. And that's going to be the turret falling down easily, barely contested. Damage onto Sejuani, but it does literally 0. The stun going on onto Sivir there. She's forced to pop the spell shield and she backs off, respecting their presence nonetheless. And Rutgers University is finding themselves in a very tricky scenario. Here comes another wave. They're going to attempt to siege this turret here and possibly get the inhibitor right after. The team fight is going to break out soon underway, but the question is, who's going to come out on top? University of Delaware just trying to see anything that they can, and instead it looks like they're going to order the retreat. Get the damage on elsewhere, noticing that they have and a lot of damage coming on to Kha'Zix again. Gonna keep the waves pushed and the tempo going onto their side. Difference between both teams here. Since Sejuani trying to siege the turret. By Maokai, the Nature's Grasp is going to be followed up. Lulu trying to use her ultimate, and here comes Zera with the right of the arcane, and Hansen is going to find himself being picked off. Justana trying to look for a little bit more, and is going to back off instead. They're going to be satisfied with the pick off onto their mid laner. A lot of impact this game.
Dragon will be up in 30 seconds. Well, about 30 seconds.
In siege mid, but with Baron going over to University of Delaware, they're gonna find themselves having a little bit of a hard time trying to siege that mid turret. Gonna order the retreat, moving towards the Drake as you see here. We're almost getting to that 3-item power spike. She already has the Essence Reaper completed. There goes On the Hunt. They're trying to get Maokai. He's trying to sustain as much damage as he can, but it's just not quite enough. He's finding himself getting picked off, and East Coast Carry gets a picked off. And just like that, now they lose priority on trying to secure the Drake. As you see, Sejuani there on the minimap is going to secure it. Meanwhile, the remaining members of the University of Delaware's team is going to secure the Tier 2 mid turret. Of a misposition by Maokai and the amount of damage that Sivir can dish out. That's just gonna find him getting picked off. Kha'Zix trying to get a pick off, but Lulu's gonna pop the ultimate on herself. Kha'Zix once again finding himself in a very dangerous situation.
And that other dragon also went to Delaware. So that's two Infernal Drakes.
Game. Best Kennen NA has not had as much impact as he wanted to. He's currently 3-5 when he was 6-X in the previous game. Just hasn't had the amount of impact. Trying to get the assassinations, but it's just not enough between the front line and the amount of shields and boosts that Lulu provides. Good situation to assassinate anybody this game. Meanwhile, members of University of Rutgers or what have you have been picked off left and right, underestimating the sheer amount of damage that University of Delaware can produce. So far, Mr. Flag.
I'm just impressed. I'm just happy Delaware's turned it into more of a game the second time around. No 10k advantage. Almost a 10k advantage. Oddly enough. Just in the other favor this time.
Yeah, the exact same situation handled out. So we might just have a series after all. Baron spawning in about a little less than 2 minutes here. Sat and try and see what the game plan is moving forward. 2 Infernal Drakes, by the way. Of Delaware. Boost up their already incredible amount of damage.
That's gonna be a lot of extra damage for Jace. Just to like cue that back line.
That back line is taking about 40% of their HP as damage just from the Jace EQ combo alone.
Mm-hmm.
It easily allows University of Delaware to follow up with any kind of damage. Bouncing Blades from Sivir, that's almost enough to KO any AD or squishy target on Rutgers' team.
Sivir's Ricochet is really not helping out Rutgers at all.
Struggling just to stay ahead here. Kha'Zix gonna find himself a little under the curve here with only 2 items completed to University in Delaware's average of 2.5. Trying to clear the wards, trying to prep it. Unlike other games in this series, we have seen a lot of play around the Baron for the most part, as both teams have been very interested in trying to secure that for their team. Or, however, secures the Baron with 3 Drakes on their side. It's going to be very close to being a GG. On how University of Delaware has been able to turn this around, Mr. Flag.
I'm just
Definitely in
hoping
the
they. I just want my prediction to be right. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe I was wrong for the second game. But here's University of Delaware. They're going to start the Baron. The top laner
this
for
is
both
a
teams
risky
being the only
Baron.
one. It's very risky indeed. We're going to see if the Kazakhs can win the 50-50 smite.
And he
Starts to smite it,
doesn't.
and he misses it instead. Instead, he gets picked off. The Sivir going to use on the hunt to flash over the wall with the. Look at that amount of damage onto Tristana, doing almost 80% with just one EQ combo. The Xerath going to get the stun off, preventing enemy Tristana from being killed off. The flash coming out from Vladimir. He's going to pop his stopwatch just in case as a reminder. But that's the Baron going for University of Delaware. Damage with the Baron and all 3 Drakes, just as we said, dealing 80% of Tristana's health as damage.
And this tower is gone for certain. I don't know if the inhib is yet or not, though. Oh,
The
yep,
is
definitely.
going to go as well, and University of Delaware is going to order the retreat. At this rate, Sivir has reached that 3-item power spike, and her and Jace are going to be dealing the bulk of the damage for their respective teams. Meanwhile, nobody on Rutgers' team has popped off.
Flash engage from Maokai.
Flash engage from Maokai. He's going to pop the Nature's Grasp. Once again, they're going to get the
assassination
that Kazakhs has been looking for all game. He's been looking for that assassination, but it hasn't quite worked. University of Delaware trying to look for a little more, but they're going to back up instead. And there goes the ricochet that we said earlier, killing off Kazakhs in return.
Ugh. Just ricochets into him. Nothing you can do.
University of Delaware ordering the siege once again. Look at Sivir dealing all that damage, still at full health. Maokai trying to pop in, but there's going to the spell shield. There's going to go the pop. She's going to pop on the hunt here. A lot of poke and stuns getting off on Sivir. She's going to finally use her Sunday spellbook. The miss of the timing as well as the Lulu shield is more than enough to secure Sivir a triple kill. And they're looking for more. The ace by Vladimir, and that's going to be the game for University of Delaware.
Yeah, game 3 time.
Interesting game 3.
Oh, Kazakhs getting a couple of assassinations, the resets. Not enough.
Dude, but it's just not enough. Our viewers are telling us that the audio isn't matching.
Audio isn't matching. Uh-oh.
Well, while we try,
We'll take a look at that.
fixed. That's game number 2, going for University of Delaware.